So we are about to kickstart the show. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Luyanda Duma. If you're joining me for the very first time, and we are live on WoManRadio. So I'll introduce the topic just now, but let me just start the show. Guys, I'm a pond. I asleep. And just like that, we have officially arrived. Hello, beloveds. My name is Luyanda Duma, and you are now listening to Growth Mindset here on WoManRadio. Such an honor and pleasure it is to be with you once again. It is a beautiful, chilly Tuesday in Johannesburg. So I do hope that you guys are keeping warm, that you guys are ready to hang and chat about important conversations and topics that do impact who we are and how we show up in the various organizations that we service. So let me welcome the delegation, my dear beloveds, on YouTube. So we are live on YouTube, the HR Perspective, which is my YouTube page, and we are going live on WoManRadio, the official platform for women, by women, with women. Thank you all for choosing me. Thank you for choosing us. The name is at Luyanda Duma on Instagram, Luyanda_Duma6 on Twitter, and Luyanda Lwandle Duma on Facebook. For all my Facebook lovers, we are at WoManRadio SA across all our social media platforms. And yeah, let's get this show started. Allow yourself to grow and change. Your future self is waiting. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Grab your beer, grab your water, grab your notebook, grab your pen. It's time to learn. Let's discuss, let's share our experiences. So to kickstart the show, we did start off with a banging "It Ain't You" or "It Ain't Me," right? It ain't me. It's a TikTok challenge. So I thought, why not be vibey? Why not start off this show on a vibey note? I know for a fact that I failed epically, guys. I mean, I know I'm an HR enthusiast. I know I speak about HR, but I'm still a young person. I'm still festive. I'm still vibey. And let me tell you, I first practiced this challenge with a friend of mine, two friends of mine actually, at a restaurant, just before we locked down on level 4. And it was an epic fail. And I've been trying on numerous accounts and still I cannot really master it. But I thought whoever's tuning in and listening in, let's start off by, having some fun. So what's on the menu today, tonight, this evening? I am coming to you live from Johannesburg. Let me know where you're listening in from. Let me know where you are, what you're doing, what's the weather like, how are you keeping warm? I know for a fact that I'm definitely warm. Shout out to WoManRadio here at the studio, making sure that we are cozy, that we are comfortable, and we are able to be productive during this very short time that we have together. So guys, let's speak about what to expect first before we really get into tonight's show, and unpack what workplace bullying is, what it looks like, and how it shows up, in our lives, in our different organizations. So first of all, the topic is workplace bullying. I know somebody's listening in from KZN. There we go, all the way from back home. Thank you so much. A shout out to you for joining me. And the music selection, very vibey. We're going to listen to some of your faves, old faves and new faves. I know that I'm bringing in a bit of Boosie and Tamia, and then closing the show with the bang. So do stay tuned so that you get to experience that. And that would be our music selection for the day. So there's just the theme is vibe. I know last week it was all love. Today it's vibe. We are up, we are happening. I mean, South Africa is opened just a little bit, so let us just be festive. And also my generation is getting vaccinated as of the 1st of September, so shout out to that, right? So I know that when the president addressed us, which is basically what we're going to touch on when we are looking at what is happening in South Africa, just an overview. What lockdown level, what is the status like? Because I know last week's show was very no, it was hopeful. The show before that was the one that wasn't too great because obviously we were going through a lot as a nation. And I think now there's hope, now there's a vibe, you know, it's a cycle. So, and I think we're doing quite well, but we will kickstart the show, as you know, mandatory with the weekly motivation. What is the word for the week? What are we imparting? What do we want to see change in this week? And what is it that we are expecting? So, before we start, that's a bit of an overview of what's going to be happening during that hour. So I need to remind you to please grab your babe, grab your notebook, grab your pen, because it is about to be an interesting hour. I do hope you enjoy the show. For everyone joining me for the very first time, my name is Luyanda, aka Intombi Mzula, and you are listening to Growth Mindset here on Women Radio. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm playing an ad now, and then we're gonna go straight into today's show. Yeah, guys, Corporate Queen wears a lot of hats. I'm also on radio every Tuesday evening. And yeah, like, welcome to my life. I think let's make this a date every Tuesday where I will be going live and speaking about these, you know, different HR topics. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Definitely is a date, and our date has just begun. So what is the word for the week? How are we encouraging each other to get through this week? What is it that we need to generate our focus and our energy on to ensure that we maximize on this opportunity and this week that has been given to us? So as I was listening to the sermon, as I was preparing for the word, because I do my night routine, beloveds, every Sunday in the evening, right? So I plan for my week. I watch the sermon because I cannot even begin to face the week without armoring myself with the word of God. So if you are with me, shout out to you. Let me know what your evening routine is on a Sunday in preparation for your week. So the word you know, that God really planted in my heart, and a word that was very pressing, and I think it also was a build up because also I'm about to wrap up the month of July, aren't we all? But I'm reading I read a devotional, a daily devotional. So every month is themed, right? So the theme for July was forgiveness, right? Opening your heart to forgive, and basically teaching us that when you forgive somebody, it's you releasing yourself from the trenches, right? So a very big part of me wanted to say that go into this week and make peace with your past, right? Understanding that everything that you've ever been through and every obstacle you've ever faced was not just for a vibe, you know what I mean? Everything that you've ever encountered is something that is leading or preparing you for that which you are going to receive. So if you continue to hold on to the hurt, the pain, the challenges, the failure, right? And you know, the failed whatever that you are holding on to and not making peace with it, you are blocking the blessing, and you are blocking and not allowing God to do that which He wants to do for the season and for the place where He's taking you. And let me tell you, this is not something that you need to practice for a week. This is something that you need to wrestle with. And I think for years and years I've been wrestling with it to a point where it came and I released certain people, you know, that I've been holding with my heart through unforgiveness, right? So this week I'm encouraging you on the point of forgive them. I don't know who they are. Forgive it, the circumstances, because it and them are not who you are. They don't define where you could be. So the minute you let go of it and them, you allowing God to do His work and to take you to where you know He wants you to be and to place you in those spaces. So that's how I'm encouraging you today, this week. And I also then watched a sermon where TD Jakes was speaking about, for how long are you going to allow the pain to control you? For how long are you going to allow that which is holding your heart to hold, you know, to take captive of you? For how long are you going to allow everything that is happening in your life to be, you know, the leader and to thrive? So yeah, that's exactly what our motivation for the week is. Let me know, who are you letting go of? Don't name, but what situation are you letting go of? Choose peace over and over and over again. And I think the older I'm getting, because I'm quite young, but the older I'm getting, I used to wonder why our parents insisted on peace. For me, my parents seemed very boring when they wanted peace, growing up. And the older I get, the more I understand why the peace that surpasses all understanding is necessary in life in general. So yeah, I choose peace more than anything, and I think and that is how we are going to kickstart the show. That has been your word for the week, your weekly motivation, whatever you want to call it. But let's take a sneak peek into what exactly is happening in South Africa, where we are as a nation, what's the state of the country. We are currently on lockdown level 3, boom, 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 since Monday. And basically what that meant was just an additional hour towards the curfew. Restaurants, gyms and bars are now open. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge for those that are feeling a bit festive. Schools also then reopened. So I think it was really a very exciting moment for the country, seeing that the past 2 weeks have been very heavy on our hearts. So I think it was a well-deserved break, but I do want to encourage, everyone to continue to wear your mask, to continue to sanitize and stay safe and social distance. Do that which you need to do as we await the 1st of September, because youth is already vaccinated. Aren't you excited? So that's basically where we are as a country. But also lockdown level 3 does mean, when we look at now organizations and now we are looking at our topic, and as we begin, lockdown level 3 does mean that a lot of people are now going to work less from home and more from the office. And what does that look like, right? Today, as we speak about workplace bullying, some people have anxiety as the lockdown levels and the restrictions get less, because some people may need to go into the office to face their to face Avandu that bully them, to face the situations that cause them so much of pain, anxiety, trauma, mental illness, physical illness as well, because these are the effects of bullying. And today we are going to unpack that. Some people may be sitting now even asking themselves, am I being bullied? Because you don't understand what bullying looks like, because this is not bullying as in like push over, during break when you're playing as kids, or people ganging up on you. Bullying in the workplace, or corporate bullying, shows up in different ways, and sometimes you encounter it without even realizing that you are being bullied. So it's very, very important for us to have these conversations, to dissect these things and actually break down to you, what is it, what does it look like, but most importantly, how do we then begin to manage it? But before we do so, do engage us. We are on WhatsApp. Please do WhatsApp us. Our line is 084-092-990. I repeat, 084-092-990, and we will begin shortly after this. Your fave. Yay! So now I hope you guys are good. We are listening to Tamia, Officially Missing You, and then we start. Guys, the reason why I actually thought that I wanted to have this conversation live on YouTube as well. One, because I know that from my subbies, you guys did say that you don't want my video too long, also because of data constraints and all of that. So I try to minimize the videos and make them short, palatable for you guys to engage with and grasp, right? So every Tuesday I'm on radio. My show is called Growth Mindset. So basically I do speak about what I would generally speak about or record about on YouTube, but this time during an hour, right? So I thought maybe I should go live every Tuesday. If you can, you join me live. If you can't, you can watch the video in your spare time when you have data or the constraints required. So I think this will be an additional touch, very fun, because obviously there will be music, there'll be commentary in between. And yeah, so I hope that you guys are going to enjoy. And yeah, let's talk about corporate bullying. Guys, it's such a sensitive topic, because also I remember when I started, there was a time when I recorded this content, I was bullied. I'm actually connecting virtually with my producer. So I'm just trying to see what he's saying. I need to bring down my levels. Yeah. So I was just trying to. Yes, cool. Okay, guys. Is he gonna type it for me? Is he not? Guys, technology, I'm telling you. So yeah, so I got bullied at work. And it showed up, as different signs. Like I began to feel unhealthy, unwell in my soul. I used to cry every time I had to go to the specific workplace, and it was a mess, guys. So I remember recording the content to say, I can't wait to leave this, workplace so that I can record a video for my IGTV on workplace bullying. So the time is now. Let's talk about it. The song is about to finish, so let's prepare to let go of you. What are you guys doing? What are you up to? Say every little thing you do. Hey baby, say it stays on my mind. And what are you doing on this Tuesday afternoon or evening rather? Sure. Alright, let's go back on air and let's get this conversation started. An absolute fave as promised, officially Missing You by Tamia. I think we all had a phase, let us be completely honest. One thing about us on the show that we are completely honest. Like Tamia used to be everyone's fave, and I think when I was much older and I could discern the music and understand the lyrics, I actually used to ask myself, what happened to Tamia? But Hong Luna, like she used to bless us with, one of the most amazing, and I think lyrically, she is one of the best. So let's get straight into it. So let me tell you how this topic even began, and it's very, guys, it's something very close to my heart as well, because I've also experienced, workplace bullying, right? And I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. I know what it smells like. And I completely despise it. So I used to be in a specific organization or an office or whatever you want to call it. And I experienced bullying. Bullying from top management. I experienced, funny enough, bullying from people that were below me, subordinates, right? For lack of a better word. And I cannot even begin to explain the trauma that comes with allowing yourself to be bullied in an organization. And I don't even want to say allowing yourself, because it makes it seem like you're the reason why you're being bullied, right? So we used to experience bullying as kids, but now we experience it in the workplace, and it shows up, in different ways. So I remember, as I was being bullied, I used to read up a lot on how do I manage that? How do I have a more sterner voice? How do I speak even if my voice shakes? What do I do in a situation where I feel bullied? How can I protect myself? How can I stand up for myself? And I think the most hurtful thing was the fact that I was young, I was female, and I was black. And that is just basically the ultimate checklist for somebody to be bullied. Young, black, female, So it was quite a hard time, but I remember grappling with material, reading up on how to, deal with bullying and how to manage it, and, reading people's experiences and so forth. And I came across this quote that said that Sometimes people try to expose what's wrong with you because they can't handle what's right about you. I need to repeat that so you understand where it stems. Sometimes people try to expose what's wrong with you because they can't handle what's right about you. And funny enough, as a consultant now, with a number of clients that I service, I do sometimes feel like I'm being bullied by a client. And it happens, guys. Um, you can be bullied by someone older than you, somebody more superior than you, someone less superior, someone younger, somebody also at the very same level as you are. So nobody is exempt simply because you feel like you're in a higher position, so nobody can bully you. You know, people have different personalities, different characters, and you know, different perspectives. But as we begin, you know, I want to start off with stats that were conducted and you know and research that was done in 2017 about who gets bullied, right? And about 70% of bullies are male, right? And 30% are female. So males have the highest percentage in terms of being bullies. Both male and female bullies are more likely to target women. Why? Because women are seen to be more fragile, women are the easier target, women, you know, don't necessarily use their voices within organizations because also of just, you know, of previous disadvantage. We don't come from a space where we are encouraged to use our voices, or we use, you know, our voices. So 61% of bullying comes from bosses or supervisor. So these are the people that are above you, right? So mostly, and I think people that will share their experience and speak about them being bullied will often say that it comes from their manager, their supervisor, the CEO, or generally somebody that holds a higher position because they use that position of power to kind of, you know, bring you down or bully you. 33% comes from your co-workers. So these are your colleagues, these are people that work alongside you, right? So the remaining 6% occurs when people at lower employment levels bully their supervisors or people above them, which is also what I got to experience, especially very, very early in my corporate career. Protected groups are bullied more frequently. Only 19% of people bullied were white, right? So the white people have got a slightly, in fact, the smallest percentage of being bullied in the workplace, right? So what is, you know, workplace bullying? What does it look like? Um, guys, my producer's asking if he's bullying me. No, you're not. I'm all grown up, like now big, so I can never be allowed to be bullied. I use my voice even if it shakes. But shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. For always making sure that growth mindset is smooth sailing. So the first thing that I think I wanted to speak about was the fact that your experience is valid, right? When you think that you are being bullied, you probably are being bullied, right? And you know, I remember that I watched a live session that was done by Amanda Dambuza, and she said that bullying is a power game. It's not about you, but it aims to minimize you, right? And it goes back to how I introduced the topic to say that sometimes people try to expose what's wrong with you because they can't handle what's right about you. So they will try to suppress all that is good about you and highlight that one or two things where you fall short, right? And they want you to feel small and inferior in the workplace, right? So if you keep quiet about bullying or harassment, or you witness it, sorry, and do nothing about it, for me, you're a bully yourself, right? It's one thing to know and witness bullying and to try intervene or get somebody to intervene, but for you to watch somebody go through bullying every single day in the organization means that you yourself are a bully, right? So what does it show up as in the organization, right? Bullies sometimes, guys, you know, when we are now in the workplace, right? There's a lot of competition, and I think the one thing that is big about corporate culture is competition, to a point where sometimes the competition can become toxic, right? And when it becomes toxic, it gets to a point where you would do anything to bring somebody else down. People start stepping on each other's heads to make sure that they are recognized or they feel good about themselves, right? So bullies always see something in you, and that is why they want to take away that power. A simple example: when you are good at what you do, you will always find there are people that are going to speak words of discouragement to you, people that are not going to honor your work, appreciate your work, but you'll always find there are people that are always going to find the worst in every solution. Like, I'm a pessimist, like very negative. Like, you may come up with a brilliant idea, but they'll always try find a reason to be negative or a reason to pull out something negative from an idea or a conversation that you have started, from a project or anything that you work on, right? Your feelings are very real, and they matter. When you feel it that it's bullying, you must know that it is bullying. So the one thing that in this live session that we are talking about as well is that the bully is banking on you to react. So they do these things because they want to see you depressed and then fall short in your work. They want to see you lose your temper, fight, hit, kick, scream, so that they use that against you. So they want you at your weakest in terms of your level of productivity and your level of showing up when it comes to work, right? And I think the biggest thing for me that I had to deal with or had to come into terms with was that not everyone is going to like you. And not everyone that you work with has the right to like you. They are not obligated to like you. The only obligation that you and your colleagues and your supervisor have towards each other is to make sure that you work on the common goal, is to make sure that you deliver on your deliverables, to make sure that you do your job at the best of your ability, but also maintaining a healthy work environment and also maintaining, a healthy relationship with your colleagues. So people don't have the right to like you, so don't try and get people to like you, because I think at one point what I dealt with was, but I'm genuinely such a nice person, if I can say so myself. I'm very encouraging, I help, I don't expose people's weaknesses. If anything in the workplace, I try to cover up, and I want everybody to do well. I want everyone to thrive. So how is it that the very same person who is so emotionally invested in the development of other people is the one that is being brought down? And it was such a hard thing to wrestle with, because like, how, Sway? Like, I'm very outspoken. I stand up for other people. I do this, I do that. I know what the value that I bring into an organization. I'm very much unapologetic about that. But how is it now that I find myself in a corner where I feel like I have no voice and I don't know how to use that voice? And it happens. It happens to the best of us, right? I remember Amanda saying that you give bullies the power by addressing things privately, or waiting for people to leave the meeting, or waiting, to see them at the parking or in the cafeteria or in a private setting, right? The one thing that I've learned to do is address things now. The time is exactly 18:38. If you just joined us, my name is Luyanda Duma, and this is Growth Mindset. So today we are speaking all things bullying, and we are about to look at what it looks like, how it shows up, and what it feels like to be bullied. So a lot of people may wonder, how do you know when you are being bullied, right? How is it do you identify, that this is a moment where I feel like I'm being bullied, or how do I react, and what are the different types of bullying? Because I think another thing that happens in the workplace is that people often take the concept of bullying as young people and think that that's exactly how it shows up in the work organization. So some examples that show that you are being bullied, or examples of corporate bullying, speaks to targeted jokes, right? You always get people that will make jokes that are targeted at your skills, at your shortfalls, at what you've done wrong, or even what you've done right. Because when people can't stand what you do right, then they will try and make you feel bad for it, right? So jokes that are targeted at, at how you show up in the workplace, right? Maybe it could be how you dress in the workplace, and the fact that you don't contribute in meetings, or you are more quiet, you are more of a learner. So they use all these things to make you feel less than, right? And they laugh at you and they make jokes that will make you feel insecure about your work and make you feel insecure about what you do, right? Another one would be to being purposely misled about work duties, incorrect deadlines, and unclear direction. This is the one that I hate the most. Setting people up for failure. You are a bully. If you tell people the wrong dates for deadlines, incorrect details, unclear directions, so that they keep working on a project and you keep sitting them back to do it, that is bullying. Continued denial of requests for time off without an appropriate or valid reason, when you are not allowed to take leave, yet you are entitled to your leave days, right? So they're denying you of your request for a day off or leave without a particular reason, right? Without saying that, hey, we've got a deadline, we need to push deadline, so we need everyone at work from this hour to this hour. But when you get to work on that day, everything is normal. In fact, there's no big project that we're working on. That is bullying. Threats, humiliation, and other verbal abuse. The subtle jokes about race, about our different tribes, tribalism, about our genders, discrimination, that's all bullying. Verbal abuse. Abuse is not just physical. There is verbal abuse. People saying things that are offensive and hurtful. Excessive performance monitoring, sometimes known as micromanaging, but worse than micromanaging. Excessive performance monitoring, when your performance is watched to the T. Like every word that you type, the hawks are there. Overly harsh and unjust criticism. So when you get feedback, is it harsh? Is it encouraging? Does it want you to work on yourself? Or does it make you feel less than? Does it make you feel like more bad about yourself than you already feel? So criticism or monitoring isn't always bullying, because in the workplace you must be monitored and you must be given, good feedback to help you be better, right? So example, objective and constructive criticism and disciplinary actions are directly related to your behavior or to your performance, right? So that is not bullying. Just because you're undergoing disciplinary hearing is not bullying, because that's just to correct either a performance or behavior issue, right? But criticism that is meant to intimidate and humiliate you is what's called bullying. So in a meeting, being called out to say, hey, you made this mistake, you did this in front of everyone, that is humiliation, and that is bullying. So you might be wondering, what are the types of bullying that exist in the workplace, right? One, there's verbal. This could be somebody mocking you, humiliating you, the jokes that we spoke about previously, office gossip is bullying, and spoken abuse, where people will directly speak something harsh, unfair, or unjust, right? Gossip is abuse, guys. When you speak about somebody else in the workplace, how they dress, how they walk, what they eat, when they eat it, how they eat it, that is bullying. Another type of bullying is intimidation, right? This might include threats, right? Social exclusion. And I once experienced or had to deal with a case for my client, one of my clients, where there was a bullying case in one of their shops, where the one employee was feeling bullied because of social exclusion. So other people used to eat together because they were from the same tribe, they spoke the same language, lived in the same area. So they socially excluded this one person because she didn't share, the same, I guess, eating preference, didn't live in the same area, didn't speak the same language, well, not as fluently as they wanted her to speak it. So they began to exclude her, to make jokes, and she, jokes that were harsh, unfair, unjust. So she experienced both verbal and intimidation as form of bullying. Spying, invasion of privacy. If somebody stands up and goes to the bathroom, you quickly go through their notes, you go through their laptop to find out how far they are with a certain project, or to steal ideas. That's bullying. Related to performance, to work performance is another type of bullying. So basically here, where you get sabotaged at work. Guys, have you ever experienced work sabotage? That is the worst, right? So stealing or taking credit for somebody's idea, or knowing that we've discussed something in the boardroom, or you heard me discuss something and you then rush to go discuss it first and present it to the supervisor. That is bullying, guys. Another type of bullying is retaliatory. So in some cases, talking about the bullying can lead to accusations, right? So of lying, and people then excluding you even more. So if you report bullying and they use that against you, and they use that to exclude you even more, to refuse you promotion, and retaliate to your reporting and for you standing up to yourself, that's also bullying. I don't know if I'm making sense. And the last one, institutional. I think, guys, institutional bullying is probably the most frustrating bullying that you can encounter, and especially if we revisit the familiar face of the people that get bullied: black, young, female, right? So institutional bullying happens when a workplace accepts or allows and encourages the bullying to take place. So basically, when an organization does absolutely nothing about you being bullied, right? So the bullying might then include unrealistic production goals. Guys, you get organizations that have unrealistic goals and a super productivity that is unhealthy. Like where you walk into an organization and they say, yeah, we work from 12 to 12, it's always been like this, nothing you do can change. That's institutionalized. Forced overtime, forced unpaid overtime even, or singling out those who can't keep up. So if you are new in an organization, and guys, I know somebody, it was the most hurtful thing watching her go through this bullying, institutional bullying, where she was in a very high pressure work environment, working for a very well-known organization, and basically as an intern, you kind of need to keep up with the pace of people that have been working in the industry for years, right? So not only was the bullying institutional, it was verbal abuse, it was intimidating, because if you can't meet deadlines, or if you can't do a certain thing, or show up, or show less emotion, and be hyperproductive, then you don't deserve to be there. So when people start using statements such as "you not deserving to be in that environment," then it becomes, and it starts to be problematic. So when we look at bullying, we need to be very open-minded about the ways in which it shows up, and about the ways in which, like, it will show up for yourself. You might not be bullied, but be in an institution or an organization that allows it to happen and does nothing about it. So how do we then go about, unlearning this institutionalized bullying? And what is our role? How can we then play a role in making sure that we transform these work organizations? What are the policies saying? What do we need to do to ensure that we stop bullying? And how does bullying really affect, a person, right? So let's speak more about that. But I think more than anything, if you do want to connect with us, you can connect to us across all social media platforms. We are at Growth Mindset. Not Growth Mindset. What am I saying? At WoManRadio SA. The show is #Growth Mindset with Luyanda. You can also catch us on WhatsApp at 08409299990. I repeat, 08409299990. You are listening to Growth Mindset with your girl Luyanda Duma, aka Intombi Yomzulu. Coolio. I hope you guys are still tuned in. So now we are going to wrap up the show, guys. Time flies. We're going to wrap up the show, and we're going to speak about the effects of bullying and what can one do to ensure that they don't get bullied, or how do we then so we've got physical. Guys, I got my notes on my laptop today because I didn't want to. You're so easy to love. Okay, let's check the WhatsApp line. Now that's a turn on. So the WhatsApp line is popping. So we've got a question. We're gonna address that, and then wrap up the show. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this has been helpful. Okay. Okay, levels are good. Cool. So I'm just trying to maximize the time, guys. Time is running out. So I just want to make sure that okay, there we go. We're back on in a few minutes. kwaze kwalula ukukuthanda, kwaze kwalula. Guys, try multitasking, like be on air and also answer WhatsApps. Osa, Aibo. You're so easy to love. You're so easy to love. Boosie featuring Heavy K, Easy to Love. Welcome back. If you're joining us, where have you been? Because we are about to wrap up, but nonetheless, do join us, have a seat, turn up the volume, put your feet up and listen to Growth Mindset. My name is Luyanda Duma, aka Intombi Zulu, and you are listening to Woman Radio, the official platform for women, by women, with women. So let's pick up where we left off. Yo, keep those WhatsApps coming. So we've got a WhatsApp comment saying, hi there, nice topic. I heard you saying that you're not forced to love at work, even if you're a kind person. But what about someone who hates you for no reason, right? So, guys, we have all, and I think it goes back to say that people not necessarily don't like you as a person, but people don't like the confidence that you have, or how you show up, or how you are yourself, right? So more often than not, it's not you that people, don't like. They just envy the fact that you can be who you are while they struggle, right? So, and it also then, takes us now to, how do you handle bullying in the workplace, right? How do you handle such people, those that are vocal about not liking you, those that are not vocal, but they do certain things to make sure that for no reason whatsoever, and it's really not, it's not a inverted commas no reason, but it's more about how you carry yourself, how you do what you do, and people are intimidated about the fact that you show up as somebody that probably they would love to show up as, right? So maybe they resonate with something, or what they like, you get to do so beautifully to a point that it hurts them. So let's quickly speak about how we can handle this, right? So what does the company policy say about bullying, right? And the company policy, if it doesn't exist, it needs to be written, it needs to be communicated, and it needs to be well understood and shared across the company, right? But also another thing that I strongly encourage is that you must deal with it. Don't let things slide. A book that I'm currently reading, and I'm on a chapter that deals with people management. It really speaks about not letting things, boil up, or throwing things in the cupboard, because one day that cupboard door is going to open and everything is going to come flying out. So to manage yourself and to manage your emotion, it's important that you deal with everything as and when you encounter it, right? Teach people how to treat you, right? Not everyone you encounter will know how to treat you, how to work with you. So it's important that you teach them how to treat you. Stand tall. Don't shrug, and be assertive when it comes to dealing with your bullies and speaking to your bullies. For somebody that is currently getting bullied, document everything. Take videos, record conversation, take pictures, take screenshots of WhatsApp messages, of DMs, of WhatsApp comments, whatever the case may be. Gather as much evidence as possible. Another option would be to report your bully to your line manager, and if the bully is your line manager, to somebody superior or HR. Address things as and when it happens. I don't tolerate the way that you speak to me. If you need my assistant or if you have a problem with my work, I'm going to need you to speak to me in a manner that is going to be conducive and that is going to allow us to work. But if you're going to be speaking to me like this or saying this or doing that, unfortunately, I will not come to the party. Set the record straight. There are people that have suffered greatly because of bullying, right? Felt sick, felt anxious. Sometimes bullying can lead to diabetes, and they have trouble waking up or having quality sleep. Those are some of the physical effects. Some of the mental effects, thinking about and worrying about work constantly, even when you're off. Losing interest in things that you usually like, right? Dreading work and waking up late, right? Or even needing time off because you need to recover from workplace stress. So those are some of the effects. So if it's gotten to that point, you need to seek professional help, right? You need to seek professional help. See a therapist, see a psychologist, the local counselor. Some organizations are big enough to have counselors in-house. So seek professional help and use that referral from the doctor or whoever, your counselor, your therapist, as a document to support your bullying in the workplace, right? So use that. So if all ads fail, then you will go the route of involving a third party, right? It's connecting with the law, CCMA rep. There are other third party alternatives to deal with bullying. But in closing, let's create a culture of accountability. Let's create a culture of speaking up, even if it doesn't exist. Let's create a culture of breaking down the institutional bullying that exists in the building that our feet have not even touched. Let's create a culture of holding people accountable, of calling people out. Call people out in the workplace if they don't know how to treat you. Call people out in the workplace if they don't know how to deal with or manage themselves. Call out, even if it's somebody above you. Have a professional conversation where you sit down and say A, B, and C is unacceptable, or I don't tolerate or appreciate A, B, and C. I prefer that you do A, B, and C. If ever you see someone getting bullied, stand up for them. You never know what a few words can do. You could save a life. And that is exactly how we will wrap up today's show. Speak up. Save a life. The only way that we can begin to change the institutions that exist of bullying within organization, if we begin to speak out. If we begin not to allow them to be how they are. My name is Luyanda Duma, aka Intombi Yomzulu, and you have been tuned in to Growth Mindset here on Women Radio, the official platform for women, by women, with women. And escorting us out is Amanda Black, famous. Have a lovely evening. I'm out. Last night I had a dream about us. Well, I'm not a singer, but and in that dream you called me beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know what you think of these live sessions. How can we make them better? Should we stop? Should we continue? What are your thoughts? Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, I've had consistent numbers. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, the show is done. So have all the nice things. I wanna be famous. Let me end the live. I'll save it and share it across all my social media platforms. Thank you so much. Good night. If it cost me